I'm going to dig into the question, does Elon Musk own Bitcoin? I've reviewed public appearances and his Twitter account to trace a timeline and uncover just what he thinks of Bitcoin. After pulling these pieces together, I reveal my surprising conclusion when it comes to Elon and Bitcoin. Elon Musk is a tech entrepreneur who rose to prominence after success at PayPal, an early online payments processor. With some 41 million followers on Twitter and an estimated net worth of 150 billion, his opinions carry weight. He is best known for his work at Tesla now, but he runs at least 5 other enterprises. To get the earliest inklings of his thoughts on Bitcoin, we start at an interview from 2014 when Bitcoin was less than 5 years old.
You mentioned the startup of PayPal, which is a great innovation that happened in sort of how we pay for things. That seems to me an area in which there hasn't been as much subsequent innovation other than Bitcoin.
Yeah, PayPal has definitely, it hasn't moved much since from when it was sort of bought by eBay. The long-term vision that it had for PayPal, or sort of in sort of finance, was to it sounds a bit strange, like to convert the financial system from a series of heterogeneous, insecure databases to one database. Mm-hmm. Or, well, not one database, but maybe there'd be like a few more. The money is just a number in a database. That's what it is. And it's primarily an information mechanism for labor allocation. And the current databases are not very efficient. Like there are these old legacy mainframes that don't talk to each other very well, have poor security, and only do batch processing once a day. Really care about the consumer. I think a lot of banks don't seem to care that much about the customer. So I think there's an opportunity to be like a really good bank, effectively, but much more than what people think of as.
Do you think Bitcoin will be disruptive in that way? I mean, now it's a speculative currency. Will it be something that will be what normal consumers will use and will disrupt the banking industry?
My opinion of Bitcoin is that, I think Bitcoin is probably a good thing, but it's essentially, its main thing will be, this will probably get quoted here and there, but I think it's primarily going to be a means of doing illegal transactions. But that's not necessarily entirely bad, because some things shouldn't be illegal. But
the combination of Silk Road and Bitcoin will save us?
Well, it will be useful for legal and illegal transactions. Otherwise, it would have no value as a use for a legal transaction, because you have to have a legal to illegal bridge.
Yeah.
I don't own any Bitcoin, by the way.
Elon hints at a deeper understanding of money than most, whilst identifying that the current system needs improvement. Banking doesn't serve customers well, but he's cagey when describing Bitcoin as probably a good thing, but adding that he doesn't own any. Fast forward to January 2018, and Elon is being playful again, linking his not a flamethrower to the buzzwords of the time, cryptocurrency and blockchain. And this was right after the Bitcoin price peak of December 2017. A month later, he tweets about Bitcoin, stating he owns none, apart from 0.25 Bitcoin sent by a friend in the past. Clearly, he is showing little interest in Bitcoin at this point. Moving to October 2018, Elon jokes, "Wanna buy some Bitcoin?" As we'll hear next, he was poking fun at the cryptocurrency-related scams blowing through Twitter at the time. So later in February 2019, Elon was asked about crypto on a podcast with Tesla investors, Ark Invest, who themselves are very bullish on cryptocurrency. And here's what he had to say.
It's a little bit off topic, but it's in the news, or it's becoming more in the news. So it's about crypto assets, crypto,
Crypto, seriously?
Chris, seriously, very seriously. I think you and Jack Dorsey have chatted a bit recently about this, right?
Bitcoin and Ethereum scammers were so rampant on Twitter that I said to just join in. It's like, I said like one point, want to buy some Bitcoin?
Yes.
And then my account got suspended.
Given your history in the payments ecosystem, it would be very interesting to know if you agree with Jack and there is going to be one native cryptocurrency when it comes to the internet. He thinks it's Bitcoin.
It's interesting. I have some friends of mine that are kind of really involved in crypto. I mean, I think like the Bitcoin structure was quite brilliant. Yeah, it seems like there's some merit to Ethereum as well. And maybe some of the others. But, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it would be a good use of Tesla resources to get involved in crypto. Paper money is going away.
Yes.
And crypto is a far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper. That's for sure.
Without a doubt.
That has its pros and cons.
Just to clarify, Tesla's not going to start selling Bitcoin anytime
No,
soon.
we're not.
Carrying on with his fun and jokey approach to cryptocurrency, he does say he has friends interested in Bitcoin, but he doesn't let on that he has discussed it much with them. Again, he acknowledges that the current state of affairs can be improved upon, but shows little personal interest. Then, in April 2019, Elon tweets about the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, in a one-word tweet, quickly followed by JK for just kidding. A linked article on Dogecoin, a small cryptocurrency created as a joke by its creators, followed. Elon's tweet looks likely responsible for the near 50% price rise in the following days. And it wouldn't be the first time that Elon's tweets had moved markets. Coming now to January 2020, in a Tesla-related podcast, he is asked about Bitcoin.
The banks are in trouble if it's not Stripe, it's be somebody else.
And you love code, but you don't seem to be as bullish on Bitcoin. Do you have could you break down like why? Because you're talking about this big database that's more secure for faster transactions. It seems like Bitcoin's hitting at least some of those.
I'm neither here nor there on Bitcoin.
What did you think when you read like Satoshi's white paper for the first time? You're like, oh, it's pretty interesting. Or
that was pretty clever. It's just like the things. Yeah. This always gets like the crypto people angry, but there are transactions that are not within the bounds of the law, and there are obviously many laws in different countries. And normally cash is used for these transactions. But in order for illegal transactions to occur, the cash must also be used for legal transactions. You need an illegal to legal bridge. That's where crypto comes in.
So is it kind of the dark net stuff?
It can't be entirely dark, because otherwise how do you buy normal stuff?
True. Yeah.
And cash these days is used just much rarer. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's like increasingly difficult to use cash. Some places you can't use cash at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True.
So there's a forcing function for transactions that are illegal, quasi-legal, and in some cases legal. But it's got to have some. It's got to be both legal and illegal. It doesn't count otherwise. Otherwise, you simply it can't just be transactions within an illegal economy. Because how do you buy food in a house or something? You must have a legal to illegal bridge. So what I see crypto as is effectively as a replacement for cash, but not as a replacement as a primary. I do not see crypto being the primary database.
Clearly, he seems uninterested in Bitcoin in this podcast, and he seems to suggest that he's read the original Bitcoin white paper, although from his reaction, I don't think this is true. He makes comments again on using Bitcoin for illegal purposes similar to those he made in 2014, and this to me suggests he hasn't really spent much time thinking or developing his knowledge on the subject. Not all that surprising given his existing work commitments. Here we see that he doesn't see cryptocurrencies as being the backbone of a new financial system. In May 2020, Elon comes close to Bitcoin in identifying problems with the current political systems that shut down the economy, yet carry on as if production magically continues. Listen to his concerns on the Joe Rogan podcast.
This notion, though, that you can just sort of send checks out to everybody and things will be fine is not true, obviously. There's some people have this absurd view that the economy is like some magic horn of plenty. Like it just makes stuff, whatever. There's a magic horn of plenty, and the goods and services, they just come from this magic horn of plenty. And then if somebody has more stuff than somebody else, it's because they took more from this magic horn of plenty. Now let me just break it to you, the fools out there. If you don't make stuff, there's no stuff. I would become detached from reality. You can't just legislate money and solve these things. If you don't make stuff, there is no stuff. Obviously. We'll run out of the stores, run out of the machine just grinds to a halt.
Elon doesn't seem to quite piece together that this is all enabled by central bank money printing and fiat debasement. I'm quite sure that when he does, he'll quickly recognise the role Bitcoin plays in our future, as central banks and governments are forced to face economic realities and people choose, in their own economic best interests, to use a sounder, less corruptible money. May 2020 sees an increase in Twitter posts about Bitcoin from Elon. He responds to J.K. Rowling's recent foray into Bitcoin Twitter by remarking that massive currency issuance by government central banks is making Bitcoin look solid in comparison, whilst also teasing with his magic internet ghost money Harry Potter reference. It does appear that Elon is warming to Bitcoin as a store of value. Yet, just like that, back to Dogecoin, before the July Twitter hack where infamously a 17, 19 and 22-year-old were found to have gained access to Twitter employee administrative systems and largely tweeted out Bitcoin scams from a number of large accounts, including Musk. And then yes, you guessed it, back to Dogecoin again. November saw him respond playfully to Game of Thrones star Maisie Williams' poll to Twitter about whether she should buy Bitcoin. She did, by the way, and quickly saw her money double in value. Moving closer to the present day and the end of our clues, we saw more cryptic tweets by Elon around Bitcoin in December 2020. Joking that Bitcoin is his safe word and joining in with some Bitcoin memes before bringing Dogecoin into the conversation again, whilst anointing himself ex-CEO of Dogecoin. This latest Dogecoin tweet led to a 25% surge in its price. Then, taking a less favourable view, and surprising to many, Elon insulted Bitcoin, suggesting it is little better than fiat money. Before then, showing interest in recent Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor's tweet. Saylor is CEO of US-listed MicroStrategy. Saylor offered to show Elon how such large sums, $1 billion plus, can be exchanged and bought in Bitcoin, for example to hold as Tesla balance sheet reserves. In a delicious turn of events, Saylor also happens to be a rocket scientist, having studied aeronautics and astronautics at MIT. This brings us to the end of the publicly available clues regarding Elon and Bitcoin. We can see that he has made positive and negative sounding noises towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies since 2014. However, he has shown only minor interest and appears to only superficially understand what Bitcoin represents, focusing on narrow notions of means of exchange, rather than its all-important store of value properties. In conclusion, I have found no evidence to suggest that he has personally invested in cryptocurrency or intends to. As with much of his Twitter conversation, it is playful and in good humour rather than serious in tone, although I have no doubt that he is moving closer to appreciating the importance of cryptocurrency in a world where governments increasingly debase and inflate fiat currencies. So no, Elon does not own Bitcoin, but given his friends and a growing appreciation for Bitcoin, I would not be surprised to see this change in 2021. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if you think Elon Musk owns Bitcoin.